What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 12. So we still down to the beach. First of all, before I forget, let me give a shout out to my man, Chef Anthony. He was the chef that Melody flew down to be the chef for a couple of days while they were at the beach. She said that he was out of the D.C. area. I have actually had Chef Anthony. He actually catered my sister's bachelorette brunch that we did, and he also does meal prep, and he's done meal prep for me. So shout out to Chef Anthony. He's a good dude. Good food, good chef. All of that. I'm gonna have to go back and look for my pictures from my sister's brunch and post it. But anyway, so shouts out to him. Moving on. So the family is together, they're having breakfast, the mom is there, and everybody is getting along. And, you know, they asked the kids to go around and talk about their favorite memories. And, you know, they're talking about their favorite memories are, you know, dad's funny looking shorts and going bike riding and playing in the sand and all of that. And, you know, Melody said this is what this was all about. Like, it took me and Martell a long time to get here, but this is why I wanted this. This is why I invited him to be here. It wasn't about us get back together. It wasn't about, you know, for old time's sake. It was about us continuing to create memories for our children, putting our personal bull aside and being able to create these memories for the kids. And then we see this whole montage of the family out on the beach having a good time. Child, that was cool. Now, Martell sort of blindsides Melody and says, hey, the Scotts just happened to be down the road, and I told them they could come by. And Melody was like, She was like, excuse me? First of all, how you inviting people that I don't even rock with to the house that I'm paying for without asking me if that's okay first? Now, honestly, I think this was a scheme set up by production to come to us with the bullshit. But let's go along with it. But Melody has a point. Like, if that's me, if you're an invited guest, how you just inviting people to the house, especially people who you know I have a rocky situation with. Like, for real, I just started getting along with you. You don't get to invite more people that I may or may not be getting along with. Like, sir. But anyway, the Scotts show up, child, and Melody is cautiously polite, right? She's polite enough that she's not outright rude, but she's not warm and fuzzy. And I wouldn't expect her to be, because warm and fuzzy would be fake, right? That is just not where Melody is with anybody at this point, other than maybe Stormy and maybe Tiffany. But that's just not where she is at this point. But they go in the house and they are talking to the Scotts. And of course the Scotts, the teacher's being her normal nosy self. So what made you guys do this? I mean, what made you guys figure this out? Like, what made you guys? And, you know, Melody was like, girl, like, it is not that serious. Like, don't try to turn this into something it's not. Don't try to make this to be something bigger than what it is. Like, don't do all of that. But eventually they did get to a point where they were able to kind of laugh and joke a little bit. They sort of played like the newlywed, not newlywed game. And what's funny is Melody and Martell got more questions right than Letitia and Marceau did. And once they got done, everybody was apologizing to Letitia because they was like, girl, you a better one than me. Because you put up with Marceau and his fool-la-la. Then the guys sort of separated out. I mean, the ladies stayed in the living room. The guys went up to the pool room. And I think for the first time, we came the closest to Martell actually admitting that he knows that his actions hurt Melody. And he said, you know, I always focused on what I felt like Melody wasn't doing for me. That I never stopped to ask myself, why did she stop doing it? Why did she stop cooking? Why did she stop wanting to have sex with me? Why did she stop, you know, why did things fall apart? And he said, and honestly, I had to sort of question myself and ask myself what happened to bring us to that point where she no longer wanted to be there for me in those ways. All I saw was the end result. I never stopped to think about how did it get to that point. And I really do want to ask her, and I feel like we need to have that conversation. And listen, I don't give Martell too much, child. Lord knows I don't. But on that one, I gotta get up with some Martell because although it shouldn't have taken you all this time to come to that conclusion, listen, you might be the last one off the bus, but you finally got off the bus, okay? Um, the ladies were talking, and again, I'm gonna give Melody credit for being able to sit there and have a conversation with Letitia, and it was cool. It wasn't any little smart comments. It wasn't no little snide remarks. It wasn't no passive aggressive. They really, honestly had a good conversation, so I got to give them credit for that. And again, they were just sort of talking about the co-parenting and how they got to this point and why Melody, made the decision to do the family vacation, and things like that. Um. On the flip side, we saw the other Scots dealing with Kimmy. And let me say this, I know I'm late with this review, but the one good thing about being late with stuff is you have a chance to sort of see how social media reacts to things. And I was so shocked when I saw people making nasty comments about the fact that Kimmy has decided to share her journey with us. People was like, why they feel like they had to show us the haircut, and that was real dramatic. Let me explain something too, because I went through this with my aunt. When my aunt, she technically was one of my best friend's aunt, but we all family, right? We celebrated holidays together. Your aunt is my aunt is your aunt, all of that. When she started chemo and her hair started falling out, that's the first thing she did. When she got home that day, she said, cut it off. Because when you start brushing your hair and you were literally seeing your hair falling out, and like Kimmy said, and y'all have to also remember, Kimmy is a healthcare professional. Kimmy is a nurse. She knows what this looks like. She knows what it's going to be. And I don't think people realize how much hair Kimmy had. Do you know how long it takes to grow your hair the way Kimmy's hair was naturally like that? Do y'all understand? And for people to be so insensitive, like she was doing this for clout, or she was being dramatic. Oh, she was being so dramatic. I was really sickened by that. Like, some of y'all really need to check y'all humanity and really... Anyway. But we got to see, Kimmy made the decision to cut her hair. And she called her hairdresser and her best friend over with Maurice. I didn't know Maurice used to be a barber. And she said that's kind of how they got close, because she reached out to Maurice to cut her son's hair. Because at the time, Jalen was a lot smaller and she was a single mom. And she told Maurice, I want, like, my hairdresser's going to come over and cut my hair. Then I want you to clean it up. Like, I want you to do it. And, I love the fact that they did this as a family, like as a moment together. They kept pieces of Kimmy's hair, like she cut it in sections, so there were pieces of Kimmy's hair that they're going to make a wig out of. And you saw where the hairdresser bought different wigs for her so that she would have wigs. And the way they did her hair was so cute. It was really cute. I mean, I don't think Kimmy was all that crazy about it, but it's gonna take some getting used to, right? When your hair is down your back and you go from literally your hair being down your back to it being that long. But Kimmy's got those natural curls, and her hairdresser did a really, really good job with her hair. It looked really nice. But it was a moment, and I respected it, and I respected the fact that they chose to share it. But anyway, that was pretty much it, y'all. I didn't have a whole lot for this episode. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.